Hey ladies and gentlemen, Steven here from Redolessence. Welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for joining me today. Really do appreciate your time and your viewership. It means a lot. So here we have the brand new release. This one is an original creation by the company Dua Fragrances, and this one is called Café de Dua. So make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin my fragrance review of Café de Dua and I tell you what I think about this brand new original creation released in 2021, I do want to mention that if you are a fan of fragrance related content, if you like fragrance reviews here on YouTube, but also top 10 videos, giveaways, unboxings, special guests, and more, please do consider supporting this channel by subscribing to it. All you have to do is click on that red button in the corner. And of course, while you're at it, please be sure to enable notifications by clicking on the bell icon as well. And so for those of you who don't know, the company Dua Fragrances, they do create original fragrances from time to time, or they create their own clones or inspired expressions of some harder to find niche fragrances that are really obscure, or sometimes they go after discontinued designer fragrances. And so that's their way of sort of resurrecting the fragrance while allowing consumers who have been longtime fans of said discontinued fragrance the opportunity to continue to experience the goodness of the smell. And I know there have been many times when I came across a fragrance that was discontinued, whether it be Armani Attitude or Infusion Dome by Prada, or just some of these favorite fragrances of mine, and it is disappointing. And so I kind of like when they do bring fragrances back to life, thus giving us an opportunity to enjoy it for many years to come. But here we're actually talking about an original creation, and this is my favorite genre. So we're talking about Gourmand fragrances. I love my Gourmand fragrances. I looked at the note breakdown which the creative director of the company and the CEO of the company provided me with, which is lemon biscotti, we have coffee, we have amber, we have Madagascan vanilla. We have all of these gourmandly rich ingredients in here, and I said, I need to have this one in my life. I can see myself wearing this one. If the notes are truly and accurately reflected, this is one that I can see myself really loving. And so I'm excited to give you my thoughts on the smell. Let's start things off with the presentation. So in the opening of this fragrance, you have this explosion of all of these gourmand ingredients that are in the note breakdown. So you have the lemon biscotti. There's something butyric or a little buttery in here as well. You have the vanilla, you have a creaminess, you have caramel. Something in here is a little salty as well. You have the warmth that is exuding from the base. You have the coffee that is sort of resting in the dry down. It's not the first thing that you notice, which for a name like Café de Dua, I thought it was going to be like a really strong, really bright, coffee dominant fragrance. No, it actually is a good player, right? And a team player. It shares the role with all of the other gourmand ingredients in here. So this is not a simple fragrance. This is not a linear fragrance. This is not all about the coffee, but the coffee is kind of the skeleton of the fragrance. And you have all of these other gourmand ingredients sort of playing around this coffee note. And I think that that's really what makes this so enjoyable. I have smelled quite a number of coffee-based fragrances out there. As a matter of fact, there are fragrances out there where they create, or companies I should say, that create entire collections based around the note of coffee. And of course, Follow by Kerosene is amazing. Awake by Acro is amazing. And so, and of course, Montal has a few fragrances that have coffee in it. And so I'm thinking to myself, do I want another pure coffee fragrance? And I don't mean pure coffee in terms of the Thierry Mugler fragrance, but a fragrance that really puts the coffee note front and center. This one is like going to a Parisian cafe where they're selling macaroons and baked goods and pastries, and you smell the vanilla, you smell the flour in the air, the baked goodness, the lemon cookies, the caramel, the sweets, the salts. Just everything about it is so decadent and so gourmand. Now, I will be honest, the thing that really popped out to my nose initially is that butyric component. So something about this smells a little buttery, not animalic in any way, but you can see it has that baked good richness about it. But then the coffee is really that one element that sort of unites and unifies all of these other ingredients in the composition. And it's the one thing that you're going to perceive in the second hour, third hour, fourth hour, so on and so forth, until this fragrance expires on your skin. Personally, I get really good longevity from it. I get about 9 to 10 hours, and that's not too much of a surprise because this one is very base heavy with a lot of these deep gourmand ingredients. It's also extrait de parfum concentration, so you can probably expect this one to last a long time on your skin. But definitely a gourmand. Sugar, spice, and everything nice is in this fragrance. And so if you are a fan of gourmand coffee fragrances with an emphasis on the gourmand, definitely check this one out. I think it's going to be to your liking. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, 100% unique. I have not smelled a fragrance before ever that smells like this. I love how it sort of takes different elements with that lemon biscotti. It has this buttery vibe. It smells like a baked good. It has this sort of macaroon vibe in there as well. But you also smell the coffee. You smell the vanilla in the base, which is very warm, but it kind of extends that sweet aroma from the very opening well into the dry down. And so there's something sweet at every stage of the progression of this fragrance, which makes it very enjoyable for me. So very unique smell, and I personally love the smell because I am a fan of gourmand fragrances. In terms of the longevity, you can expect about 9 hours on your skin. The projection for this one was also very good for the first 2 hours of application. However, there aren't a whole lot of top notes in here, so it didn't really radiate beyond an arm's length. So I would say about an elbow's length, but it radiated pretty consistently. So I would say for like the first 2.5 to 3 hours, it projected very well. You are going to get noticed. The versatility on this one is pretty good too. I can see this one being enjoyed in pretty much every season except for the summer, just because some gourmand perfumes, especially if you're wearing them on your neck and you over apply, if it's really hot outside, they can be cloying. So I can see this one being worn comfortably in every season except for the summer. I think this one is totally unisex. I can see anybody of any age wearing this one. And despite the price and its affordability, especially if you're purchasing it on the weekend with a coupon, I can actually see this one being more of a formal occasion type of a fragrance just because it's so different and it's not your typical blue freshie, right? In terms of the presentation, I like the graphic on the bottle. My final verdict on this fragrance is if you're looking for a coffee-based fragrance that does not make it all about the coffee, but also something that doesn't smell like Valentino Uomo. If you're sort of used to that DNA and you want something with a really quirky, really different gourmand take on coffee, check out Café de Dua by Dua Fragrances. I really hope you like this one. And at the very least, try to get a sample just so you can expand your gourmand palette and see all of the different types of gourmand fragrances that are out there. I'm pleasantly surprised by this one. I'm a big fan. So thank you so much for tuning in, ladies and gents. I really do appreciate your time. That was my review of Café de Dua by Dua Fragrances. If you own or have tried this fragrance, please let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like this video so that you can show YouTube that you appreciate this type of content. And if you are new to this channel and you took something of value from this video and you're not subscribed, please do consider supporting this channel by subscribing to it. All you have to do is click on that red button in the corner. And of course, while you're at it, please be sure to enable notifications by clicking on the bell. Thanks again for watching. Love you all, and we'll see you soon. Bye.